Today's daf is sponsored by Mendel Nesselbaum for a refuah shalema for Yaakov ben Chaya Miriam and Shalom Ruvain ben Sarah. If you'd like to sponsor an Amud or a daf, please see the description box below. We continue now at the top of daf Tezvov Amud Chagiga. This is Chagiga daf 15a. On the previous Amud, they asked Ben Zoma the following question. The question was, what happens if you have a Besula and the Besula becomes pregnant? So is she allowed to marry a Kohen Gadol or not? And the Gemara now explains the question. The question is, are we concerned for what Shmuel said? Yachol ani livol kama be'ilos below dam. Shmuel said, I'm able to have multiple times relations, and it's not going to cause any blood in a Besula. As Rashi over here says, Yachol ani livol shahaya baki bahatoya. Bezunami nevelis kein. In other words, he was an expert at leaning in whatever particular direction the person needed to lean in, and therefore in this case we would have a real suspicion that maybe this Besula really did have bia, really did have relations, and she would be usher to a Kohen Gadol. Odilmor, maybe the Shmuel lo shchicha. Really, Shmuel is uncommon, and therefore, since Shmuel is so uncommon, so therefore we would say that she's considered a Besula. She's not usher to a Kohen Gadol. And the Gemara says, Amar Lahu, so he said to them, the Shmuel lo shchiach. What Shmuel said, or what Shmuel's able to do, is not common. V'chayshinon shema be'ambati ibran. We're actually concerned. Maybe she became pregnant inside of a bathtub. In other words, there was some zera inside of the bathtub, and that's what impregnated her, and she's not really a Be'ula, but rather she is a Besula. Gemara says, V'amar Shmuel, but didn't Shmuel say, Kol shichva zera, any shichva zera she'eno yorek achetz, which doesn't shoot like an arrow, so if it's just swimming around in the bathtub, it's not going to work. Eno mizaras, that's not going to cause a pregnancy. So the Gemara says, no, that's not an issue. As long as in the beginning, originally, it was yorek achetz, the fact that it is in a bathtub and then goes into the woman, that's not going to make a difference. It is still possible to impregnate the woman. Rashi over here says, Bambati klisha rochtzin bo kol aguf. It's a vessel that you bathe your body in, again, like a bath. It's possible that a person may have deposited shechva zera there, and entered inside of her, and therefore, again, it's possible she became pregnant in that fashion, and she's still a Besula. And Meikara originally, Kishayatzas Mina Adam, when it originally left the person, so then again, it was Yorek Achetz, it shot out like an arrow, and that is enough to impregnate the woman. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Ma'aseh Rabbi Yoshua ben Chananya, there was a story with Rabbi Yoshua ben Chananya, Shaya Omer al Gav Mala Barabayas, he was standing on top of a step on Harabayas on the Temple Mount, V'ra'o ben Zoma, and Ben Zoma saw him, V'lo Aman Milfanov, and he didn't stand from in front of him. Amar lo, so he said to him, Me'ayin ul'ayin Ben Zoma, he said, from where are you coming? What are you thinking about, Ben Zoma? Rashi over here says, Me'ayin ul'ayin, Me'ayin tavo, V'ayin lib chatarid, what are you busy in your mind with? What are you thinking about? Again, the idea being that he didn't stand up from in front of him, he must have been consumed with some kind of thought. So Me'ayin ul'ayin Ben Zoma, so Amar lo, so he said to him, Sofa ha'yisi, Ben mayim ha'yonim l'mayim ha'tachtonim. What I was doing was, I was looking or concentrating on Ma'aseh Bereshis, Rashi says, on the creation, and I was trying to understand how much space is there between the upper waters and the lower waters that are mentioned in Parshas Bereshis. He says, I concluded that there's no difference between the upper waters and the lower waters in terms of space. It's just 3 etzbos, just 3 finger breadths. Rashi over here says, talking about the area where it's attached, where again the kipas harakia, the area of the rakia attaches, so to speak, connects to the karka. So at that point in time, there's just a separation of shalosh etzbos. And how do we know that? Shenemar, like the pasuk says, V'ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamayim. It says in the pasuk that the Spirit of God was floating or was hovering over the water. Kayona shemerachefes al boneh. It's like a dove that hovers over its children. Ve'enu nogas, but it doesn't actually touch the children. So the same idea over here. It's that same amount of distance of merachefes. It's just a distance between the mayim elyonim and mayim tachtonim of shalosh etzbos. So Amar Lohen Rabbi Yoshua leTalmidav. So now Rabbi Yoshua said to his students, Adayin Ben Zoma mibachutz. Ben Zoma, he's still from the outside. Meaning to say that Ben Zoma still doesn't understand exactly what's going on in Ma'aseh Bereshis. Michdi, let us see. V'ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamoyim. Amos have it. When was that pasuk written of V'ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamoyim? His whole proof is coming from that pasuk. When is that pasuk written? B'yom harishon, that pasuk was written on the first day of creation. However, Havdalah, but when it comes to the separation of the upper waters and the lower waters, B'yom sheni udahavet, that actually happened on the second day. So you can't bring a proof from that pasuk. T'chsiv, like the pasuk says, V'hi mavdil ben mayim l'mayim. It says there's going to be a separation between the upper waters and the lower waters. That was on Yom Sheni. That was on the second day. The common, so the Gemara says, how much actually is the separation between the Mayim, Lamoyim? Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov says, Kimale Nima, it's just like the amount of a thread. And the Gemara continues, V'Rabbanon Amri, and the Rabbanon say, Ki Guda de Gamla, the amount of space is like the space you have between the boards of a bridge. Mar Zutra v'yitei Rav Asi Amar Mar Zutra, and some people say Rav Asi says, Ketrei glime de prisia adadi, it's like if you have two robes that are spread one on top of the other, there's a little space between them. V'yamrila, and some say, Ketrei kase de sechifi adadi, it's like two cups that you have, one on top of the other, the space between the two cups, that's the amount of space between the Mayim Elyonim and the Mayim Tachtonim. And the Gemara continues, returning to the story of the four people who entered the Pardes, who tried to look at the Shechina. Acher kitzitz benetios. So it says that Acher, he became a heretic. He cut the saplings, so to speak. So all of Akasav Omer, the Gemara says about him, the pasuk says, Al titen espicha lachti es besarcha. This is a pasuk from Koheles. Don't allow your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. And the Gemara says, Maihi, what exactly happened that caused him to become a heretic? So the Gemara says, Chazim Metatron, that Acher, he saw the angel Metatron, this Yavale Reshusa, Lemeisav Lemichtav Zachvasad Yisrael, that he was given permission to sit down and to write down the merits of Klal Yisrael. So Amar, so he said, Gemira, it's learned, the Lamala, that up above in Shamayim, Lo Havelo Yeshiva, there's no sitting down, Velo Tachrus, there's no competition, Velo Oref, there's no backs of people's necks, simple pshat, you can't turn your back, so to speak, on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll see Rashi in a moment. Velo Ifoy, and the beings in Shamayim, they don't get tired. So Shemach Chas v'shalom beis Rishu Yosein. So Acher thought to himself, maybe Chas v'shalom, there are two beings rather, in command in Shamayim. It seems that there's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that there's also Metatron. Metatron seems to have power in Shamayim. And so the Gemara says, Afkula Metatron, because of this story, they took out Metatron, Umachiyu Shisin Pulse Denura, and they hit him, they struck him 60 times with fiery lashes. And the Gemara continues, Amrile, they said to him, they said to Metatron, My taimo kichazise, how come when you saw him, lo kamas mikame, you didn't stand up for him? It's Yavale Reshusa Lemimchak Zachvasadacher, but nevertheless, even though Metatron was involved in the heresy and caused, so to speak, the heresy of Acher, still he was given permission to erase the merits of Acher. And Yotzta Baskol, and a Baskol went out, V'yomer, and it said, Shuvu Bonim Shovav, and the pasuk says that my children can do teshuva, chutz me Acher, except for Acher. So Acher heard this pronouncement from the Baskol that he would not be able to do teshuva. So Amari said, Hol v'ichra hu gavra meo alma, since this individual, meaning himself, since I have been pushed out from the world to come, leipuk lisani b'hayol, I might as well go out and get benefit, get pleasure from this world, from olam hazeh. So Nafag Acher Latar Basra, so that's exactly what happened. Acher went out and he began to perform misdeeds. He began to perform Averis. Nafag Ashkach Zona, so he went out and he found a Zona Tava and he asked for her services. So Amrulay, so she said to him, V'lav Elisha ben Avuya, aren't you Elisha ben Avuya? Aren't you a Torah scholar? How can you do this Avera? So Akar Pugla Mimeshra b'Shabbos. So the Gemara says he uprooted a radish from its patch on Shabbos. In other words, he demonstrated to her that he was violating Shabbos. He no longer kept Shabbos. V'yoevlan, he gave it to her. So Amra, she said, Acheru, this must be another individual. She may have meant it was an entirely other individual. She didn't know it was the same person. Or maybe she meant he was acting like a completely different person. He was no longer the same person that he was before. And Rashi over here comments, Acher kitzetz benetios. It says that Acher cut the saplings, again, which is a metaphor for he became a heretic. Rashi says, Kilkel v'ives kenichnas lapardes umekatzetz hanetios. The Gemara is saying that when he entered the Pardes, he cut down the saplings of the orchard. Well, if he shadimo son betchilas hadavam lenichnas lapardes, Rashi says interestingly, since originally the Gemara uses the metaphor of entering the orchard, nakad lishna de kitzitz benetios. That's why the Gemara uses this language of cutting the saplings. It's not meant to be taken literally. Rashi is saying again, it's just meant as a metaphor. It means to say he became a heretic. Then the Rashi continues over here, lo oref, there's no back of the neck. The chol tzidei and yesh lem panim. Rashi understands that to mean that on all sides they have faces. There's no back of the neck in Shamayim. Again, when we learned it in the Gemara, we understood that to mean that you can't turn your back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rashi's adding a little to that. Rashi's saying there is no such thing as the back of the neck in Shamayim. Ifoy ayefus, again, that means to say there's no getting tired in Shamayim. Pulsi, then he was whipped with fiery lashes, with rods of fire. Makas makol bishtundi, again, he's being hit with these hot rods. Pugla tzanon, pugla is a radish, mimeshra aruga, from the patch. Again, he demonstrated to this zona that he was violating Shabbos. And now the Gemara continues, Shal Acher es Rabbi Meir la'achar sheyotz latar busra. So Acher asked Rabbi Meir the following question after he had already started to commit his sins. Amar le, he said, Ma'idich, what does the pasuk mean when it says, Gamezel u'mazeh oso Elokim? It says that he made one corresponding to the other. One thing is corresponding to the next. That is a pasuk in Koheles. And so the Gemara says, Amar lo, he said to him, Kol ma shebara HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has created, all which HaKadosh Baruch Hu has created in the world, bara kenegdo, there's something that was created that corresponds to it, that's the opposite. And he gave examples, bara harim, bara gavos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created mountains, he created valleys that correspond to the mountains. Bara yamim, bara naharos, he created seas and created rivers. So Amar lo, so Acher responded to him. Acher responded here to Rabbi Meir, and he said, Rabbi Akiva Rabcho lo Amar Kach. Rabbi Akiva, your Rebbe, he did not explain the pasuk in the same way that you're explaining it now. Ella, rather, he explained it as follows: Bara tzadikim, bara rishaim. It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created righteous and created wicked. Bara Gan Eden, bara Gehenim. He created Gan Eden, he created Gehenim. Kol echad v'echad yesh lo beis chalokiv. Now, every single person who is created, he has two portions. Echad beGan Eden, he has a portion in Gan Eden. He might get that portion in Gan Eden if he merits it. V'echad beGehenim, but he also has a portion in Gehenim if he does not merit. Zocha, now if the person merits, Zocha tzaddik, not al chelko v'chelik chaveru beGan Eden. So if the tzaddik merits it, so then not only does he get his portion in Gan Eden, he's also going to get the portion of his friend in Gan Eden. Neschayev Russian, if the wicked person becomes chayev, so not al chelko v'chelik chaveru beGehenim. Not only is he going to get his portion in Gehenim, he's going to get his friend's portion in Gehenim as well. And the Gemara continues, Amar of Mesharshi, or Mesharshi, it says, Maikra, what is the pasuk that supports this? Gabe tzadikim ksiv, by the tzadikim it says, Lachein ba'artzam mishne yirashu, that in their land they're going to inherit a double portion. That's talking about the tzadikim getting a double portion in Gan Eden. And Gabe Rishaim ksiv, and by the Rishaim it says the same idea the other way. Umishne shibaron shavrim, that they're going to get a double portion of destruction. And the Gemara continues, Shoal acheres Rabbi Meir lachar shayotz latar basra, again, Acher asked Rabbi Meir after he began to sin, what does the pasuk mean when it says Lo yarchenu zav u'zechuchas u'tumrasa klei paz, that you can't compare the Torah, the gold and the glass and the fine golden vessels, they don't compare in terms of value to the Torah. Amar lo, he said to him, it means as follows: Elu divrei Torah shakoshin l'knoson kechlei zav u'chlei paz. It refers to divrei Torah. It's difficult to acquire divrei Torah like golden vessels, like fine golden vessels. V'nochen la'avdan kechlei zechuchas. And the comparison to glass is that it's very easy to lose it, just like it's very easy to break, to destroy glass vessels. So Amar lo, so Acher said to him, Rabbi Akiva Rabcha lo Amar Kach. Rabbi Akiva, your Rebbe, he didn't explain it that way. Ella, rather, as follows: Makli zav u'chlei zechuchis, just like vessels of gold and vessels of glass, afal pisha nishbru, even though they break, yesh lem takana, it's possible to fix them. Af talmidei chachamim, so too when it comes to Torah scholars, afal pisha sorach, even though they do averas, yesh lo takana, there is a way to fix, there is a way to do teshuva. So Amar lo, so now Rabbi Meir saw his opportunity. He said to Acher, he said to him, Afatoch chazerbach, so even you should do teshuva. Amar lo, he said to him, Kvar shamati me'achori hapargud, I already heard from behind the curtain, Shuvu bonim shovavim chutz me'acher, that everybody can do teshuva except for Acher. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabban, and the rabbis taught, Maisa ba'acher sheyerochiv ala sus b'Shabbos. There was a story with Acher, he was riding on a horse on Shabbos, V'hoyer Rabbi Meir mahalech acharav, and Rabbi Meir was walking behind him, Lil mo Torah mipiv, in order to learn Torah from him. So Amar lo, he said to him, Meir chazer la'acharecha, he said, Meir, go back, stop following me. Shekvar shiarti bikvei susi ad kan tchum Shabbos, because I've already measured, as my horse has been walking, I've measured that we've come to the tchum, the boundary of Shabbos. You're not allowed to walk any further. Amar leis, Rabbi Meir said to him, Afatar chazerbach, you should also go back. Why are you violating the tchum? Amar Lei said to him, V'lo kvar marti loch kvar shamati me'achori aparga. Didn't I already tell you that I already heard from behind the curtain, Shuvu bonim shovavim chutz me'acher, that everyone can do teshuva except for Acher. Tokvei ayli levei midrasha. So the Gemara continues, Rabbi Meir took him and he forced him to come with him to the Beis Medrash. Amar Lei liyanuka, and then he said to one of the children in the Beis Medrash, Psokli psukach, tell me the pasuk that you're learning. When you ask the child to tell you the pasuk that he's learning, it is a kind of a prophecy, a kind of a ruach hakodesh. So Amar Lo, so the child says, Ein shalom amar Hashem l'Rishoim. There is no peace, says Hashem, for the Rishoim, indicating that indeed Acher would not be able to do teshuva. So Aili levei kanishta acharisi. So now Rabbi Meir, he brought Acher to another Beis Knesset. Maybe we can get a different message. Amar Lei liyanuka psokli psukach. He said to a child, tell me your pasuk. Amar Lo, he said to him, Kim techabsi beneser betarbi lach boris nichtam avonech lefonai. Even if you wash and you try to clean yourself with all kinds of soaps, your sin will still be in front of me. So I levei kanishta acharisi. So he brought him to another Beis Knesset. Amar Lei said again to one of the children over there, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Tezvav Amud Beis.